Hello. We're off to a great start. So I went to Megacon 2022, which was the first major con I've been to since the world ended. And while I was there, I started noticing some things. I ended up getting very curious about why certain fandoms were cosplayed and what characters were cosplayed. And so, because I have too much free time and I overanalyze things for fun, I took it upon myself to do some theorizing. I don't think research is the word. I made a Google Doc. So that's why the computer is here. Because I made a Google Doc. And now I'm sharing my scientific findings that I made up. Now, I want to make this very clear before I go any further. I'm not judging the craftsmanship or the skill level or talent or canon accuracy of any of the cosplays that I saw. This is purely a popularity of the characters in the fan base and the fan base in general. Observations, if that makes any sense. I'm great at articulating things. So this is gonna be a great video. So to get that out of the way, if you cosplay, you're cool, you're talented, regardless. This is just me on my bullshit again. So, what was the most cosplayed fandom at Megacon 2022? There were so many fucking Genshin people. I know nothing about Genshin Impact, but it is certainly popular. Especially that, the pink fox lady with the, big fluffy tails, multiple tails, and Child. He's the only character whose name I know. I don't know why, but those were definitely the two most cosplayed characters from Genshin, and Genshin was definitely a high in popularity cosplay thing. Now, a few surprises I noticed while at Megacon 2022. The first one, I went in expecting to see more Dream SMP cosplays, mostly because 2020 and 2021 Dream SMP was everywhere. If the internet was a neighborhood, it's way bigger than a neighborhood. It's a hellscape, but this is the analogy. If you just turn the corner on the internet, there'd be yet another person talking about the fucking Dream SMP. I was very surprised. Not a lot of them. There were not a lot of Dream SMP cosplays. The most popular characters that I did see cosplayed from the Dream SMP were Techno and Ranbu. The interesting thing was most of the Techno cosplayers I saw in the artist alley, and most of the Ranbu cosplayers I saw in the lobby or in the halls. You know, like at a con. I was also surprised by the amount of tubbos I saw. There were a lot more tubbos than I expected. And not a lot of Tommies. I think I saw one Tommy. I got the feeling he was the protagonist of this shit. The last thing I want to talk about regarding Dream SMP cosplays I saw is the age range of these cosplayers. They were young, and I was surprised because I thought the age demographic for that fan base was more spread out. But these children looked like high school sophomore age at most. These were tiny, they were children. They were babies. I saw 2 Goofy Goober SpongeBobs. I saw two Goofy Goober SpongeBobs. One of them was also accompanied by a Patrick in thigh highs and fishnet tights, like from the movie. And I did in fact yell Goofy Goober at one of them when I saw them. I feel that that was my duty as myself a Goofy Gooby Goober Goober, yeah. Several Moon Knights and several cosplays from Our Flag Means Death, mostly Blackbeard. I think it was Blackbeard. I haven't watched either of the shows, but they just aired, so y'all work fast. There were a lot more Ravens than I expected. Raven was always like you'll probably see a few Ravens there at a con just all the time because she's a popular character. But I was surprised. Like I felt like the amount of Ravens duplicated this year. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I just became more observant over the Panera, but Hazbin Hotel was fairly popular. And mostly Alistair. We're gonna circle back to that. But I was happy to see that Hazbin Hotel has gotten more recognition in the cosplay sphere, at least in the lovely state of Florida. There were also at least 2 Charlies. I think I can count, not well, but I do think that there, if I remember correctly, were two. I can talk about as well as I can count. About 2 Charlies, and also about 2 Angel Dusts, which very happy about. And 1 Moxie. That was the only hell of a cosplay that I saw. Besides Genshin, not really many, like one specific fandom really felt like oversaturated with cosplay, which if you're a frequent con goer, you'll know that there's always like one fandom that's like popping off in that specific time in the fan base universe. Like a few years ago, it was My Hero Academia. My Hero Academia is still around. Like there are still cosplayers from it, but it didn't feel like it was the major fandom anymore. It was also very obvious which fandoms peaked during the Patricia. Like I said, there were very few Dream SMP cosplays, very few She-Ras. I'm sure there's more, but it is kind of upsetting because if cons existed during, if we were allowed to go to cons and cosplay at them during that time, those fandoms would have gotten more of a chance to shine in more of a social setting. But at the same time, maybe like some of them wouldn't have grown as much as they did. So, catch-22? Am I using that phrase right? Probably not, but pretty much the verdict for this first part of this video. Some fandoms phased out during the penicillin. New ones started popping up, and they're fueling more creativity. So that's why the more recently aired shows or games or what have you are being cosplayed more. This is now the part of the video where I'm gonna go into my own theories as to why each individual character was most cosplayed. I don't know why it's now I'm going into my own theories. It's not just now. This whole video is my theory. Starting off with the Pink Fox Lady and Child. Since I know nothing about Genshin, I had to research this. You can't say I didn't do my research, because I did. For this one thing. I graduated high school. But the first sentence on the first article I pulled up while researching Pink Fox Lady pretty much confirmed my theory. The website is One Esports, by the way, but the quote says, "Despite her spontaneous attitude and playful personality, the head priestess of the Narukami Shrine and electro character Yai Miko," apparently her name is Yai Miko, "is an entity of mystery." Mystery. My theory is, the less an audience knows about a character, the more drawn to them they will be. The next line of the One Esports article even starts with, "She holds a lot of secrets about Inazuma and the Raiden Shogun." Now, I don't know what the Inazuma and the Raiden Shogun is. I probably butchered that pronunciation. However, she holds a lot of secrets. Although, of course, my theory could just be bullshit, because my friend Goob also cosplayed the Pink Fox Lady, and when I asked her why she cosplayed the Pink Fox Lady, she told me because she saw a pink fox lady and thought she was cute. So it could just be cuteness. I understand cuteness. So when researching Child, I discovered that's not even his real name. What the fuck is a Tartaglia? To be fair, I don't like either of those names. A character named Child kind of makes me slightly scared. So his wiki page says that he's following danger wherever he goes. Child is always eager for a challenge, making him extremely dangerous despite being the youngest member. So his popularity could be based on being young and a danger boy. That's all I really found on his personality, because most of the other things on the wiki page were all of the playable stats, which could have something to do with his popularity, but I don't speak Genshin mechanics, so we'll never know. So next up, we're going to talk about Raven. Now, there were several Ravens at the con, which sounds funny out of context, because obviously I'm talking about the DC character, but imagine if just like a flock of ravens just swarmed the convention center. This is probably the nostalgia factor. In a lot of cases, the cosplaying from something nostalgic could help people feel a lot better, especially coming out of the Pickle Rick. Plus, nerd culture has become more accepted now, and a lot of people who previously probably made fun of people for liking cosplay are now joining in on it. So I also am aware that more recent comics starring Raven have come out in the recent years. So that also could be another factor toward her increase in popularity. I mean, Raven was always a popular character, which I understand. She's great. So, why were Techno and Ranboo the most cosplayed Dream SMP cosplays at Megacon 2022? So I think this comes down to the fan bases that the creators themselves cultivate. I think the boobies, that's their name, the boobies, are more invested in meeting other fans. That's why most of the Ranboo cosplayers that I saw were either in the lobby or in the halls, doing like a mini meetup, like with other Minecraft cosplayers. They're mostly in cosplay, probably as like a calling card to say like, hi, I like this thing. I would like to interact about this thing. Do you also like the thing? That is kind of what cosplaying at a con is anyway. Techno. Now, I think Techno fans tend to be more into the creativity side of it, which is why most of them I spotted in the artist's alley. Also, Techno's Minecraft skin kind of opens more doors to really razzle-dazzling up the cosplay and adding your own personal touch to it. I mean, he's already a pig man in a cape and a crown. Just absolutely yassified, and there's a lot more creative room to just fully razzle-dazzle yassify your con going outfit, or a cosplay, one might say. I think the Tubbo cosplayers are kind of a mix of both, which from my understanding of Tubbo's character on the Dream SMP, I think kind of fits. I do want to also talk about the Will fans, because I did see a couple of Wilbur cosplayers. I think Will's fan base was there to vibe. They're just there to vibe. They're the more casual ones of the fan base that were at the con. They're just there to listen to Lovejoy and watch the Just Chatting streams or the GeoGuessr streams and tell you facts about whales and geography and history. They're there to talk about their nerdy interests too, but like in a chill way. Like I came to vibe. I came to talk about music. I came to talk about, just tell me what you're into. I want to listen. Like they're there for the vibes. So why was Alistair so popular? This one's kind of easy. The psycho murder demon is a popular trope. The best example I can kind of give is Bill Cipher. Classic psycho demon. So, Has-Been Hotel's pilot aired in the late 2019. I can talk really well. I'm very articulate. And so now that its characters are more well known, it's gonna be cosplayed more, because we got to see them in action, kind of, in a 30-minute pilot. How long was the pilot? I'll look later. And Hell of a Boss is airing on YouTube, so we kind of have more of an expansive look at this world that both shows take place in. But I think why Has-Been was more popular than Helluva in terms of cosplay is probably because of the confirmed dramedy status of has been, while it's Helluva is just a comedy. And that's surprisingly important because in fan bases, the drama and angst is very popular. If you go on AO3, most of what you're gonna see is probably either drama or angst. Or porn, but other than that, it's drama and angst. There's also the fact that Has Been hasn't really aired yet. It's been picked up, and a lot of the characters are being redesigned and recast. So just because the pilot is out does not really mean that we know a lot about the characters at all. So there's more of a, again, unknown. So the unknown allows more fan creativity and theories. So the draw to it is going to be stronger than something that we already really know more about. Here's two characters that were extremely popular that I didn't mention earlier in this video, but we're going to talk about now. Loki and Wanda. WandaVision and Multiverse of Madness kind of bookending the paraphernalia definitely gives Wanda the one-up here. There's also the built-in Mad Woman archetype into her character, which I think, due to recent events, definitely makes her seem more relatable. Now, Loki was always popular. It's Loki. Classic Tumblr sexy man. But now that there are confirmed alternate Lokis and, you know, variants from the TV show, also the TV show airing, he's gonna be a lot more popular. There's also the confirmation that Loki is bi and gender fluid, even though the representation for that sucked. But now that he's confirmed to be canonically queer, a lot more queer people will gravitate towards him more than they did prior to the canon announcement. Like I said, I'm great at articulating things, just so good at. But Loki, of course, also has the villainized storyline. That's my analysis on Loki and Wanda. That's it. If you like them, you probably have trauma and you're gay. Here's another character I didn't mention before, and in the long run of the full con, probably wasn't cosplayed that much, but I noticed it and I want to talk about it. Chuya. Now, I love Bungo Stray Dogs. I do. It's one of my favorite animes. It definitely looks like it's one of those specifically animes that got a lot more mainstream during the Purple People Eater. And most of the cosplays and art for Bungo Stray Dogs that I saw was of Chuya. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Chuya. Like, there's nothing wrong with him. I was just surprised by this. So this comes down to, again, what I said with Has Been the unknown, because we really don't know a lot about Chuya. He's technically a side character, but he still marks all the boxes that a popular character would need. Design and outfit is cool. Has a fruity dynamic with a major character. This is surprisingly very popular in fan bases. Angry and short in temper and height. Not a lot is really known about him, for sure, which is the other thing. Not even he really knows what his past is. Like, someone could straight up tell him, this is your past, and be lying. And he wouldn't know. We wouldn't know. It could be retconned within, like, the next chapter. Like, there really isn't a solid guarantee here. He also has a lot more morality than a lot of the characters in the show. He only kills people when he's wearing his gloves. I think he had a quote about that somewhere. I don't remember if it was in the manga or the anime or both or a light novel. There's a lot of Bungo Stray Dogs content. It was somewhere. Like, I remember it. I'll find it. He's also against underage drinking. I think it was in Juan when he was talking to a 14-year-old and he was like, don't drink until you're old enough. Which, coming from a confirmed alcoholic character, is a good job. So even though he's a murderer like all the other characters in the show, we're dealing with the mafia in the show, he has a little bit more of humanity to him. So that probably is why he's so popular and why people love him so much. Either that or you have trauma and you're gay. So that's gonna do it. Do I think my analysis is accurate? I did graduate high school. I am in college. I am 21. I have experience in the fan base world, in the fandom world. I'm pretty perceptive. I am, however, not a psychologist. I'm not going to school for that. I'm definitely in art school. If you think that a 21-year-old college student with way too much free time is an accurate, qualified person to analyze cosplay, then yes, I'd say it's accurate. If not, we had fun. At least I did. I hope you had fun. I have no idea what my next video will be.